If I woke up tomorrow 50 pounds overweight, here's the exact plan I'd follow to lose it fast. I'm going to walk you through the 8-step system you can follow to lose 50 pounds in 6 months. It is the same system I use to lose 55 pounds myself and what hundreds of my coaching clients have done too. Step 1, set a timeline that allows you to lose fat, not just water. The truth is, what most of the diet industry tells you about losing weight fast is either incomplete or just flat out wrong. So let's talk about what fast fat loss actually means. Most people get it completely wrong because the difference between weight loss and fat loss is huge. With those quick weight loss plans, keto, juice fast, 1200 calorie diets, all the stuff that I tried, and you probably have too, you might drop 10 pounds in the first few weeks, but it's mostly water and glycogen, not actual fat. Glycogen is quick access energy storage in your muscles, and your body stores 3 to 4 grams of water for every gram of carbs that you store here. So when you cut carbs or calories, it's a ready-made supply your body's gonna dip into before even touching any body fat. It's exactly how your body is designed to work. And that's why as soon as you eat normally again, your body replenishes those stores and the scale goes right back to where it was. So just to recap, the whole point of a diet is to burn fat by creating a calorie deficit. This means that you need to consume less calories than you burn, meaning your body is going to dip into your fat stores. The problem is, your body doesn't want to get rid of fat. Fat stores are there for real emergencies, like famine. So there are other things that it's going to choose to ditch first. After glycogen, in an energy shortage, i.e. a diet, is muscle. 2 important things that you need to know about muscle. Number 1, it's known as a metabolism booster because it burns a lot of calories compared to fat. And number 2, because it is so hungry, it also costs a lot of calories to maintain muscle. So when you try to drop weight fast, it's a no-brainer for your body to get rid of these guys ASAP. But with less hungry muscle to keep your metabolism high, it becomes harder to create that calorie deficit that is needed for weight loss. And with a lower metabolism, it becomes even easier to regain the weight the moment you go off track. So trying to lose weight too fast backfires, not just because it's miserable, but because you are fighting the very design of your physiology. For most women, real sustainable fat loss averages at 1 to 2 pounds a week, which actually isn't that bad. I know it can feel slow, especially if you've done diets where you dropped 5 or 6 pounds in a week before, but remember, that was probably not fat. So if you lost 2 pounds of real fat each week for 6 months, that's 50 pounds gone. That's like dropping a small baby hippo made of pure fat. In the long run, that is faster than losing the same 10 to 20 pounds over and over and regaining it, but making no real progress. The key change that you want to make is setting a goal and a timeline that match your body's ability to lose actual fat, not water. And there's no one-size-fits-all weekly target that I can give you because everybody's calorie budget is different. Let me explain why some people can lose 1 pound a week, some can lose 2, and some can even lose faster. Your body burns a certain number of calories every day, just to stay alive. That's your basal metabolic rate. On top of that, you burn calories to move, exercise, digest your food, live your life. That is your total daily energy expenditure. So the gap between your BMR and your total daily energy expenditure is the room that you have to create a calorie deficit. Now, if you're a smaller woman at a healthy weight, that gap might only be 300 to 400 calories. But if you're in the obese range, it might be 1,500 to 2,000 calories per day. So the bigger the gap, the faster you can lose fat. Step 2 is to flip how you plan your meals. If you currently plan your meals like Monday night curry, Tuesday night salad, Wednesday night pasta, even if you make those meals low calorie, this approach to meal planning is sabotaging your results. I unwittingly did this for years. I was so focused on my calories and making my recipes clean and delicious, I never even considered the protein count. So although I was eating healthy, I was only getting like 40 to 50 grams of protein a day, when my body needed closer to 100 to maintain that all-important muscle and keep me full between meals. How much protein are you getting per day? If you don't know because it's not something you've ever really tracked, it's probably not enough. Your typical bowl of cereal with milk, maybe 8 grams of protein. Sandwich for lunch, about 15 grams. Share a chicken breast in a salad with your partner at dinner, maybe 20 grams. Nowhere near enough. The idea of hitting 100 grams might sound overwhelming, but here's how I do it. 25 to 30 grams at breakfast, and then 30 to 40 grams at lunch and dinner. Make protein the star of each meal. This is how I plan my meals now. I have these little index cards. Each meal is built around a different protein source. I've got ones for chicken, pork, beef, fish, vegetarian. I just pull out 7 each week and I make double quantities of everything. So my lunches are always leftovers, which means my lunches are protein packed too. Rather than eating whatever happens to be in the fridge or planning a traditional lineup of meals like pasta or salad, where protein is just a token gesture, I'm set up for success. Because when you prioritize protein, 3 things happen automatically. As a woman over 30, our bodies are already programmed to drop 8% of that calorie-hungry muscle every decade. Eating enough protein preserves your lean muscle mass whilst you're losing weight. Second, protein keeps you fuller longer than carbs. It takes 3 to 6 hours to digest protein-rich foods compared to as little as 30 minutes for some simple carbs. And third, protein burns more calories to digest. Around 30% of the calories you eat from protein are used just to process it, compared to less than 10% for fats and carbs. So if you want to put fat loss on fast and easy mode, start planning to hit 100 grams of protein a day. You will be so surprised what a difference this makes. Step 3 is to stop eating a breakfast that's actually a dessert. When I started planning a real balanced meal instead of a bowl of sugary carbs, I suddenly found a lot of the struggle start to melt away with my weight loss. My go-to breakfast of a mackerel bagel, it does get a lot of weird reactions, but hear me out, because when you start your day with 25 to 30 grams of protein, your blood sugar is stable and you are full for hours. So sticking to your deficit for the rest of the day feels like less of a constant battle with food noise. Protein is only one part of this story though. I follow a simple rule: 2 vegetables at every meal. And breakfast counts. This bagel has a generous handful of rocket, which is delicious, and some tomatoes. So those are going to boost the volume and help keep me full. You might be thinking, that looks like a lot of food for a breakfast when you're supposed to be losing weight. I don't think I'll ever get bored of it. Compare it to the alternative. You're trying to be good, so you skip breakfast. No way you're eating that many calories. Hang on, I've got so much food all over me. You get to work starving, thinking about food constantly. You tell yourself, no, I'll just have a coffee. But your coffee has milk and sugar, and that is 60 to 100 calories each. And then an hour later, you're still a bit hungry. You have some fruit and some rice cakes because they're healthy. 200 to 250 calories. So before lunch, you've still consumed nearly 400 calories. The same as a proper breakfast, except this time, you're still hungry, your blood sugar is everywhere, and your insulin is constantly raised from all the grazing. Think of insulin like a door to your fat stores. When insulin is high, that door is locked. When you have proper meals with gaps in between, insulin drops long enough for that door to open so your body can actually burn fat. So now, see why it makes sense to have a balanced breakfast like my mackerel bagel, feel satisfied and go 3 to 4 hours before eating again. Start planning a 300 to 400 calorie breakfast built around protein and fiber. So you've got Greek yogurt with berries and nuts, eggs with some peppers and a scramble on whole grain toast, or honestly, give my mackerel bagel a try. The 4th step, you might not like this one, it's to completely stop drinking your calories. The lattes, the juices, wine, and the sodas. Everything other than water is on pause for this fat loss phase. The only exception I have is protein shakes, and even then, they're a last resort because they're really not as satiating as whole food. I'm not saying you can never have wine again. But if your goal is to lose 50 pounds of actual fat, liquid calories like this are slowing you down. Picture this, your seasonal mocha choca frappa latte chino with 400 calories in it disappears in about 5 minutes. But those 400 calories could fill an entire dinner plate with whole food that's actually going to keep you full. Even if you go for a lower calorie option, you're still not making your calories work as hard for you as they should. A skinny caramel latte has the same calories as this whole tub of Greek yogurt and all these berries, which with all the fiber and the protein is, you guessed it, gonna keep you full for ages. Most women drink their entire calorie deficit each day without even realizing it. It's as easy as a morning latte at 190 calories, a smoothie with lunch at 220 calories, and wine with dinner, just a small glass. I mean, not that small, but you know, a home small, 220 calories. That's over 600 calories. If your deficit is supposed to be 500 calories, you've just wiped it out completely. To put it another way, if you swap each of those for water, or seltzer, or black coffee, or herbal tea, you've found 1 pound a week fat loss without changing anything that you eat. The fifth step is going to sound counterintuitive. Eat more, not less. People always comment on how much I eat. One of the main things I focus on when planning meals is making really big portions that leave me feeling full. I love food, I love to eat a lot, and I've figured out how to do that while staying lean. Here's the secret, not all calories are equal when it comes to fullness. It's all about calorie density. How many calories are packed into each bite, because a small handful of chips is 150 calories, gone in a few mouthfuls. Doesn't fill you up. Plus, who actually only eats 10 chips out of a bag of Doritos? Compare that to 150 calories of potato. Now bear with me because I know this doesn't look as appetizing pre-cooked, but the point is, this is gonna keep you satisfied for hours because your body has to work hard to break it down. Same calories, same food, but completely different effect. This is why I put so much emphasis on whole foods. Your calories go so much further. Fast fat loss isn't about eating less. It's about focusing on how much food you can get for your calories instead of how few calories you can eat. Easy way to plan meals like this is to use a simple hand portion guide. So your protein wants to be about the size of your palm. And then at least 2/5 of vegetables. Now this is where people go wrong because their portion sizes are not really a portion of vegetables. The shops really don't help you, and that's how much they give you. At least 2/5 of vegetables, and then a small cupped handful of minimally processed carbs like grains, beans, or that humble potato. Fun fact, potatoes are one of the most filling foods on the planet. A medium baked potato like this has 160 calories and it's going to keep you fuller for longer than 160 calories of pretty much anything else. Finally, a thumb-sized portion of fats. Don't skip your fats. They keep you full and they help with hormone health. But definitely choose wisely because a thumb-sized portion of fats could be a teaspoon of oil. But something like avocado or cheese or nuts would be a smarter choice because they're going to keep you fuller. Now this gives you a huge, perfectly balanced plate that's low in calories, but more importantly, it's going to keep you feeling satisfied for hours. You are giving your body what it actually needs. So that handles the food side, but here's where most people plateau, and it has nothing to do with what you eat. The sixth step is putting fat loss on autopilot. The more you create a repeatable routine, the less you have to battle whether or not to do it. Until something is a habit, you have to convince yourself to do it every time you're tired, stressed, hungry, and you just won't win that battle every time. I know I'm not the only one who has a full-blown discussion with myself when I'm trying to get out of bed on a cold winter morning and I really don't want to do that morning workout. But the cool thing is when a habit is established, getting up feels like the obvious thing to do. It's not a decision that you have to make. I know that might sound like fantasy land to you right now, but once you understand the neuroscience behind habits, this makes a lot more sense. Think of your brain like a jungle. Your current habits, like pressing snooze, are clear tracks driven by Land Rovers for years. You can navigate them without thinking, kind of like how you drive back home sometimes and not really remember how you got there. But when you're trying to change your habits, every time you want to make a different choice, it's like you have to hack a new pathway with a machete through undergrowth. It feels really hard. And on those days where you're tired or you can't be bothered, that easy track of yours with that old habit is right there, and it is so much easier to take. But here's the cool thing. The more you use your new path by following through on your new habit, the less effort it is to do that each day. Plus, when you sharpen your machete, so to speak, and you set yourself up for success by laying out your gym clothes, prepping your breakfast, removing any of the other obstacles, when you get up, you are ready to hack that path. And every day you do that, that path gets wider and clearer, and the old path starts to get overgrown. The old habits will always be there, but it's your job to make choosing the new ones as easy as possible with minimal friction. So, how do you do this? These 3 strategies worked a treat for me, and they are the basis of how I work with my clients too to shift their lifestyles. The first one is habit stacking. Find a habit that you already do every day and tag something else onto it. Let's just say you always scroll on your phone whilst waiting for the kettle for your morning cup of tea. Instead, you're going to prep your lunch whilst you wait for the kettle. Use something that already happens as a trigger for your success. The second strategy is doubling up your favorite activities with weight loss activities. So if you've got a favorite Netflix show, you're only going to watch it when you're on your walking pad, or maybe whilst you do your meal prep. You use the things you like as rewards for the things that you need to do. Third is consistency over perfection. I used to be a perfectionist. I would quit if I messed up one meal or I skipped a workout. I'd think, that's it, the week is ruined, and I would just give up. But when I became pregnant, and now with 2 small kids, I've realized just how wrong I was. If you're a mum, you know you just can't have a perfect routine. Ironically, I'm now more consistent and I'm in better shape with less time to myself than I've ever had. Because rather than trying for 5 gym sessions or perfect meals, I'll ask myself, what is the bare minimum I can do today? So rather than waiting for the time that will never come to get a full 1-hour gym session in, I do a little bit of something most days. Rather than trying to make the perfect meal plan and then getting annoyed when I mess up or the ingredients don't turn up on the shopping, I focus on consistently hitting my protein, getting my veg, and stopping eating when I'm full. Sometimes I still get caught out and I have to grab something less ideal on the run. Sometimes I do enjoy an indulgent meal out, but it doesn't derail me because the majority of the time I'm eating in a way that actually meets my goals. And that is what consistency means. Even people who are around 50% consistent lose 5 to 6% of their body weight in a year. That is pretty good for showing up only half the time. And people who are 80% consistent, they lose between 9 to 11% in a year. That's double. And do you know what? Shameless plug. My Body Smart clients lose that in only 3 months on average. And more importantly, they're going to keep it off for good. So if you want to find out more about our one-on-one coaching program, click the link in the description, follow the QR code, or check out bodysmartfitness.com. So yeah, aim for 80. It is still realistic and it allows for the ups and downs of life. But I promise it will revolutionize your progress if you've always been an all or nothing girl like me. All this sounds great in theory, but how do you put it into practice? You're going to choose 2 to 3 healthy habits that you want to start, and for each one, list out how you can make that execution easier for yourself. What are you going to prepare and set yourself up for success? What obstacles might arise? What will your plan B be? Then list out what is the bare minimum version of this that you will be able to do even on your busiest days. Then get yourself a habit tracker app. There are loads of free ones available, and it doesn't matter which one you choose. This helps you stay accountable and visualize that 80% rather than just focusing in on every missed habit as a huge failure. The 7th step is to stop exercising for weight loss. Yes, you heard me right. Don't rely on exercise to create your calorie deficit. With everything that I've talked about so far, you could cut 500 to 800 calories a day through your food and drink choices alone. Exercise is massively overrated when it comes to calorie burn. Even pretty active people only burn about 10% of their weekly TDEE, remember that total daily energy expenditure from earlier, from exercise. I'm going to explain how you can tap into a more efficient part of your TDEE for weight loss in a second, but first I want to make sure we're on the same page when it comes to exercise, because this key mindset shift is going to completely change how consistent you become with your workouts. You need to separate your exercise from your food. You do not earn your food or burn your food. They're completely separate parts of your life. This took me years to get my head around. I was in the cycle of thinking I could make up for a big weekend by hitting the gym hard come Monday, or I justified that extra cookie because I went for a run that morning. That mentality kept me so stuck, but it also ruined my relationship with exercise. It was a chore. It was something I only did when I was on the diet train. Now I show up and I exercise because I want to feel strong and free from aches and pains. I need to feel capable and fit with 2 young kids to run around after. I train for bone density and lean muscle and longevity, and this is something that I was aware of given that this is my job, but honestly it really hit home last year when my mum broke her back from a minor fall. She's active, she's healthy, but she's never really weight trained, and at 63, her bones are frail. It really highlighted the fact that we start to lose our bone density from age 30 and it ramps up with perimenopause. My mum's experience made it so real for me. Resistance training is one of the most important ways to reduce bone density loss. And if you're dieting without resistance training, you're increasing your risk of losing both muscle that we talked about earlier and bone density. Now this might sound vague and not something you need to worry about, but just have a quick think of any of your aunties or neighbours or even maybe your mum who started to struggle with falls or bone breaks or a lack of mobility to be independent. These are way stronger motivators to work out than being skinny. And the super important side effect of changing why you work out is that these reasons to be consistent and to show up, they work whether you're having a good day or a bad day when it comes to food, whether the scale is doing what you want it to or not. And when you become more consistent with workouts, ironically, fat loss becomes easier and faster. 30 to 45 minute sessions 3 times a week is all you need. Right, remember I said there was a type of activity that we're gonna lean into for weight loss. It's walking. Let's get some perspective on calorie burn. A 60-minute spin class burns around 500 calories, depending how much you weigh. 10,000 steps burns around 500 calories too. Now, which one are you likely to actually do every day? I aim for 9,000 steps personally, because that's a realistic amount that I can be consistent with. I'm building this into my routine, so it doesn't feel like a big task that I have to fit in. I take calls whilst walking, park further away when I go to the store or at nursery pickup. I take the stairs whenever I can. I use the move reminder function on my watch. Actually, one of my best investments was a walking pad, and when I'm on Zoom calls, I can just walk at a slow pace at my standing desk and I can rack up thousands of steps compared to just sitting on my bum all day. Remember, exercise is the bonus though, not the foundation for weight loss. The foundation is nutrition. The 8th step is treating this like any other project that you want to succeed in life. If you are like most of my clients, you're probably hugely successful in other areas. You wouldn't start a work project and wing it. You would plan all your work properly, follow proven systems, work methodically through challenges as they come up. If you run into an issue, you would tweak things, speak to the right people. You'd find a way to still get it done. Now, does that sound how you've been approaching weight loss up to now? Don't worry, I get it, because I was the same. I needed someone to spell it out to me that it was no wonder I wasn't succeeding when I wasn't using all those tools and strategies that make me a success everywhere else in life. So first up, get clear on your outcomes. What are you even trying to achieve? And then, what data points will you use to measure progress? I'm going to talk you through 3 important ones. First up, the dreaded scale. Now, most people go wrong because They only use this one measure. Not helpful when your weight fluctuates naturally based on your hormones, sodium, hydration, dozens of other factors every day. So it's not always a fair representation of your fat loss. And when you only weigh yourself weekly, you might catch a high fluctuation day and think, I'm not progressing, when actually you are. What I found helpful was actually weighing myself daily and looking at the weekly average so that I could see the overall trend. No one's weight loss is perfectly linear. Just take a look at some of these real life examples of some of my clients. Some days are higher, some days are lower, but if you're losing fat, over time, you will see that downward slope. Stepping on the scale daily might sound horrendous right now, but trust me, it will help take some of the emotion out of the high days if you look at that average and help you stay focused on your overall progress. The second data point is measurements. Take these monthly because they do change more slowly, but they help you objectively see when your body's shape is changing, even when your weight might be a bit slower to shift. It's also super important because it tells you what's happening around your waist. And for women, keeping our waist size under 35 inches is strongly linked to better heart health, blood sugar, and lower disease risk, often making it more meaningful than your scale weight alone. Finally, take your progress photos monthly too. I hated this. It's the one I resisted most, and it's why I don't actually have tons of photos from my weight loss journey. But I am grateful for the ones I have because sometimes the scale doesn't move much, but your body composition and your shape is completely changing. You can start to see the definition in your arms and your legs from those workouts that you're suddenly being consistent with. You're gonna see a change in your posture. And you know what I find so often with clients? I can literally see their confidence growing month on month, shining out in those pictures. So now you know the exact 8 steps to drop 50 pounds of body fat fast. Keeping it off though, that's a different matter entirely. And if you want to know more about that, in this video, I'll cover how I kept that 50 pounds off despite 2 pregnancies, career changes, moving countries, and all the other chaos that life threw at me.